Hi.
Good morning.
Good
Hello.
morning. What's our topic?
I forgot. What did you say it was?
Our topic today is a short and quick one. It's how to deal with over advice people.
Oh, yes.
People
Okay.
who overstep their bounds with advice.
Yeah.
Tell me about your experiences with this.
So, unsolicited advice. Yeah.
Solicited
So, we really try not to be those people and we wait until, you know, the conversation is something's being discussed. And then we typically ask, do you want our input or is it okay if I?
Do you want me to listen? Do you want feedback?
Yeah.
Do you want solutions?
Right. So now at the ripe age of 34, two kids in, lots of life experience, I think we try to approach it that way. We don't always. We are not perfect.
When I talk to dudes, that's how I do it. When we're listening and it's like deep in it, I'll say something like, "Hey, I'm listening to you right now. I want to support you. I think I might have a solution if you want to hear it. But if you don't want to, dude, you do not have to."
Yeah. So I I say that the version of me a few years ago really didn't want to hear anything, especially as a new parent, really struggling. I did not want to hear other people's opinions. I really wanted to just tune in to our family and stop all the noise because I think I was tired of the feedback and the parenting book suggestions and the social media input that was around me. But now I'm in a place where I can accept feedback and ideas better and I'm open to it. So I think it's a season thing.
Yeah, I love that she said that. So I've never thought of it as a season thing. It's sometimes harder than other times. There's sometimes you're like, I'm just, whatever anyone tells me, it's gold. And I just absorb it and I'm growing so fast. There's other times where it's just nails on a chalkboard for anyone to even get close to telling you something. And you have to really take a deep breath and go, I need to listen because this might be worth it, even though I don't want to. Um, it all depends on seasons and where you are, and have a little forgiveness for yourself. But first and foremost, I want to say as a parent, I do think, and this is all this we're doing is giving advice right now, unsolicited advice. But I do think that like all the answers are inside everyone.
Yeah.
Um, no one knows how to raise your kids better than you do. We are huge believers in that. And the litmus test,
No.
litmus,
Yeah.
litmus test for that is, in my opinion, if you have decisions to make, every now and then go look yourself in the mirror and just be like, is this a healthy choice or decision for my family and my kids? And if the answer is, yeah, it's not unhealthy, it's just the way we do it, or it's not what, then you're okay. You're okay. You don't need to listen. It's fine. Keep moving forward. But if you look yourself in the mirror and you're like, is this a healthy? And you kind of do one of these in the mirror, you're like, you're not looking at yourself. That one might need review. Still doesn't mean you're doing things wrong, but it might need review. See, that's the original test. So right there, boom, you're good. Okay, mom and dad, you're doing great. Okay, is it somewhat healthy? Okay, you're doing great. You're raising your kids great. Now, as far as unsolicited advice, I think it's a two step process, right? Whenever anyone starts to give you advice, this is what I do. Whenever anyone leans in to give, and sometimes I'm like, I'm asking. I actually ask for advice constantly because I love to learn. But there are times in my life when I don't want it. Is one, whenever anyone leans in to tell me something, the first thing I hear in my head is, this person cares about me enough to try to help. Tell yourself that. Doesn't care. I don't care what you think of that human being. If they're smarter than you, not smarter than you, more experienced, less experienced, younger, older, taller, shorter, does none of that stuff matters. If someone's telling you something, what you need to hear in your mind is, this person cares about me enough to try to help me. Even if it's like a little Napoleon, where the only reason they're telling you something is to try to feel smarter or stronger, and they just have a huge ego, I don't care. Because the bottom line is, if something comes out of their mouth that could help you, that does improve your life. It does. even if they're humping your leg while they do
Oh,
it. I come from the fire world. Things get weird. But the bottom line is, it is a form of aid. And it's our own issues in our head that deal with the transaction of that aid. So whenever anything comes across the table, you need to train yourself, mama and dad, to be like, this person cares enough about me right now to try to spend time to help me. Step one. Okay. That just start there. And then you've heard the phrase grain of salt, right? Take this with a grain of salt. With whatever they say, listen to it. Picture yourself holding that information like a grain of salt. And in that moment, decide if you're going to put that grain of salt back down or not. So you stop, you say, thank you for taking the time to tell me something. You listen to their words, and right at that moment, oh, I might hang on to that. Or, I don't need that. Thank you. That was good advice. Boom, done. And if you approach your life like that, especially I think with parenting, one, it'll bring down your stress level. Two, it'll bring down how much you hate people. And three, you'll actually learn something along the way, as opposed to just building a brick wall around your life, and those good grains of salt don't get through. Right?
yeah. I have learned to embrace John's 2-part philosophy. I will have a caveat: if you have unhealthy people who are narcissists, that is a different situation, because
now we're at boundaries.
we have boundaries. So that's a whole other topic. We will talk about boundaries.
Yeah.
If you are surrounding yourself with healthy people in the categories that John has talked about, you have people that are pretty much at your same level, you have people a little bit ahead of you life, and then you have people that are, following the race just behind you, right? If you're thinking of those 3 categories of healthy people in your life, and you're having conversation and things come up, then keep those 2 things in mind. Personally, I try not to give any parenting advice. I really, really wait until someone asks me. Now I really work on that. And even then, oftentimes I say, our life is so different. I don't know if this is what's for you. This is what we do. But most people don't do that, because we do 99% of our life different than other people. So even in dynamic family situations with similar relatability, with spouse that travels, limited family support, that scenario, like, even then, we just have chosen to live our life differently. So I really try not to give parenting advice, and I just really try to listen and be someone of support that people can confide in. And I share what we've done that works for us. So we've made these choices and none of them worked. So that's why we're here. We tried this and we actually had success in it. So we expanded upon that and share from a place of our experience and what has worked for us. We are not a proven scientific such and such, like, just, we're fluid. We tried this, it worked. We tried that, it didn't work. And maybe it's something that you want to think about and see if it'll work for you and your family. Or, you know what, I'm not going to do that, but this made me think of this other thing, and I think that would work for us. So I'm going to try that. And just using that kind of conversation dialogue that way. I like learning from other people. And depending on who it is, I do really value their input. But I don't like the feeling of someone telling me, you should do this, and this is how it's going to be the golden ticket in your life. Because more times than not, they really don't know how I live my life, and it's not actually going to play out the way they think it is. So in terms of parenting and whatnot, but I think people that truly know us and know our family, they don't even say those things, because they know our life is so different, and they don't even attempt to say things because it's not applicable.
Well, and I think over the past X amount of years, We've surrounded ourselves, we've created boundaries, and our circle's pretty good. So people that communicate with us, um, uh, we just have kind communicators.
Yeah.
We're surrounded by good communicators.
Yep.
Which is kind of like the law of compound returns. So the more you niche yourself into who you want to be, the more you get surrounded by that very small niche, and the smoother everything is. Which we're very grateful for. We're surrounded by amazing people.
Yep.
But anyways, in your journey of learning and growing and parenting, be patient with people around you and listen when you can. If you can't, that's okay. Always say thank you for thinking of me, and continue to take care of yourself.
And you can have phrases in your toolbox. Like Jon said, before you even start the conversation, you say, hey, sister, hey, parent, hey, friend, I'm looking for someone to listen to me. I am not asking for feedback. I am not asking for input.
That's huge.
Can I share this with you?
Yeah.
Without you having to say something.
Yeah. Or lead with, hey, do you mind if I vent for a little bit?
So if you don't even feel like you can have that precursor dialogue, then maybe you shouldn't be having the conversation with that person.
No, you need to go find someone else.
So keep that in mind. You have the ability to set up the conversation, and if you can't even do that, then you probably shouldn't be talking to that person.
Yeah.
And obviously, if like safety is an issue, okay, that's different. But also, like, maybe this person doesn't have the same safety mindset as you. Like, I don't know, but just keep that in mind. Like, not looking for feedback, looking to just chat. Can I do that in this safe space with you? And we do that in our relationship. We're still practicing. Like, oh shoot, did you want me to try to fix this, or am I just listening right now? So keep that in mind.
Mm-hmm. Good luck.